provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au. The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
I think the Knights, their time has arrived. I think last week, the 10-man performance in the preliminary final was absolutely exceptional, so I'm going for the Knights.
When you talk of Knights, it's a real fighting team.
Buskak into the back of the net. Melbourne Knights take the lead, 1-0. Melbourne Knights will win the Doherty Cup.
Croatia looking for a finals berth. That's it! The Croatia fans salute the goal that could be so vital.
And good evening, Knights fans. Welcome back to the Night Train, where we will be discussing everything and anything Melbourne Knights. I'm your host, Anthony Zovak. Once again, I'm joined by Josh Parrish and two extra guests for the show tonight, both from the women's team, Natalie Brajanovski and Mikaela Jurcic. Everyone, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Anthony.
Well, we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We've got the girls on. We're going to have a bit of a chat to them. Their season starts this week. They've played one game in the Night Cup and they've had a big draw in terms of their opponents for the next round. We've got 3 games of football to discuss from our men's seniors. We're going to go for a quick junior recap. And once again, we'll be joined by one of our senior players with a live cross from the studio. So an absolutely massive show tonight. And after a week off, Josh, it's good to be back.
Absolutely. And plenty of drama to talk about from Friday night's game, on and off the pitch.
Plenty of drama to talk about. But as always, we'll kick things off with a bit of junior news. Now, the juniors had a bye over the weekend, so good luck to all of them for the round coming up this week. But the under-14s and under-17s are all both teams are looking to add a couple of players to the squad. So if you fall into that age group and you're interested in coming down to have a kick at the Knights, get in touch, come down and join. It's a great club to be a part of, and we very much look forward to seeing you down on the training field. Now, we'll get things going with the girls. We've had one round of the Night Cup. Who, if you don't mind telling us who you've drawn next round?
So we've drawn Avondale for the next round, so definitely going to be a big game there.
Oh, massive game, I'm sure. A bit of history between our clubs over the last few years, so I'm sure you're going to do us proud in that fixture. And your season starts off this weekend as well, is that correct?
That's right. We'll be kicking off this Sunday against South Yarra, away over there. So it'll be good to get ahead into the season. All the girls are really motivated, enthusiastic. It's been a long time coming with the disruptions of COVID and whatnot. So it's good to reach some normality. So, yeah. Yeah,
well, definitely. And we've had a new coach join us. How's he sort of fitting into the women's team for this year?
I think so far so good. All the girls have adapted really well. He's come in with a new philosophy, a new structure, and so it's something we needed. We're playing recently promoted into this new league versus some top quality sides from both the northwest, southeast. So I think it's all, good things ahead.
It's a really exciting time in Victorian women's football with a new division and promotion to the top league actually coming in. So there's some genuine competition there. What is it like to be a part of, this new level, trying to almost professionalise and increase the depth in the women's game?
It's very exciting being promoted last season, obviously, when we played. It'll be a big challenge for us, I think, as well. Having played a couple teams from the south side as well, they're all very strong sides, so it's definitely going to be a big test for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And is the aspiration to go for promotion this season, or is it just to kind of adapt to the new level and we'll see what happens?
I think one step at a time, but there's always that goal, and you want to work towards a goal. So anything's possible, I think. But if the girls work hard and at it, anything can happen, I guess.
So just from what you guys have seen this year, you've both been a part of the club for quite a while now. How's the team stack up this year in comparison to past seasons?
It's definitely a bit of a change this year. We've had a lot of new girls come into the squad, and obviously with a new coach coming in as well, it's very different. But based off our last game, it's looking promising so far. We had a great game and got the win in the end, so it's looking good so far. The team's gelling well together.
Yeah, just talk us through a bit. So the Night Cup, you played that fixture, you played on the main pitch down at Summer Street. What was that like to have your first proper hit out of the season?
It was very exciting, especially playing out on the main pitch, having a good support system, a lot of people coming down to watch. So very good to play under the big lights, and it was good to get the win in the end. A bit nerve-wracking at first, having our first proper hit out. So it was good though, good to get the win.
What's the last 12 months been like for you both with this long gap? I mean, at least the men's team got like 5 games after their preseason, but with the women starting later, you were pretty much jibbed last year. It must have been frustrating with so long between actual competitive games of football.
Yeah, pretty much went training to stopping training, then to resuming training to really shut shop. So it was hard, but, you know, I think all the girls, as I said, they're roaring to go now, and it's just fingers crossed everything goes well, and yeah, that's it. Yeah.
How's the fitness side of things going? Because it would have been a challenge. You know, I know I've been doing absolutely nothing for 12 months, and I'm not aspiring to play, you know, elite sport. So
it was definitely difficult to get back into it again, especially not having played for so long. But I feel like, especially with Ray coming in, having a big focus on fitness side of things, it's been really good having him here, and we're all a lot fitter than I think we thought we'd be. So pretty good so far, yeah.
Now, just to go over a bit, so you've both been at the club for a while. Just take us through one at a time, obviously. How long you've both been at the club, and just talk us through a bit about your time at the Knights.
Cool. So I came initially to the club in 2015 as a player, but before that played most of my playing career at South Melbourne in what was known then as the Women's Premier League, where I won 3 championships. But towards the end of my career, I wanted to decide to move closer to home, so made the move to Summer Street and basically spent the back end of my career there playing State League 1 and helping the girls get promoted to this new league that we're now playing. But decided to retire at the end of 2019 and kind of move into the coaching way of things. So taken this year as helping out and assisting and trying to build on my skills, and yeah, but so far so good.
So far so. And
Yeah.
Mikaela, yourself, you've been at the club for quite a while.
Yeah, I came across in 2012 when Knights first got their first junior girls teams, and been here ever since. Started playing seniors at around 2015, I think it was, which was good to be playing along experienced players like Braj and a few of the other girls. And it was really good to be a part of the team that got promoted into the new league. And yeah, it's been interesting to see how the team's changed over the past few years and how we've all been able to still keep near towards the top of the ladder and yeah, doing well.
And now I'm told as well you've been named captain for the year going forward. Talk us through what that's like.
Oh, it's very exciting. Having been at the club my whole life, it's always been a dream of mine to be captain one day, and looking up on girls like Lucy Bolter, who was captain in the past, and trying to follow in her footsteps and being able to see what she's done for the girls and everything. It's really good to see, yeah.
And now obviously there's a big family connection between yourself and the Knights. Both your brothers played for the seniors. What's it like now? You're the only one in the family to captain the club.
Last one standing. It's good. Knights has always been like my home. I've grown up there my whole life watching both the boys play there. So it's good to still be there and be captain of the club as well, having been there my whole life and always watching the seniors and my brothers, yeah.
I'll make sure you rub it in. None of them ever captain the club.
What's the selection process for captain in the team? It's different in every team. I know sometimes it's a vote, sometimes it's a coach's call and so on.
This one actually was a mutual decision between myself and Ray, but it was actually, as soon as we announced that, all the girls were up in roar because, you know, she was the best candidate for the job, so yeah.
An easy selection.
That's it, easy one.
So what's your style of leadership going to be? Are you going to be screaming at everybody? Is it more leading by example, somewhere in between?
Yeah, somewhere in between. Probably have a bit of both there, but no, it'll be exciting. It's a good challenge for me, I think, being one of the younger ones as well on the team and having grown up and played alongside the older girls, so it'll be interesting to lead the team instead of following by the lead of the older girls for once.
So going into the season, obviously we're kicking off this weekend against South Yarra.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
How do you think we're going to go this year?
Good question. I think, you know, new coach, new structure, so the girls will take some time to gel and build upon that. But I think, as I said before, anything's possible. So they were a good side. They were in the top 3 of State League 1 last year, and we played them numerous times, and we always were a competitive match. So I think, you know, if the girls rock up on the day ready to go. And I think, we can get the job done.
And for Knights fans who maybe haven't come to watch the women's team yet, what can you say to entice them down? What can you expect from this team? The entertainment you're going to provide on the path?
Thank you.
I don't even know where to go with that one.
Well, what's the kind of football that you're aspiring to play this season, and what would it mean for the supporters to get behind you in numbers?
I think it definitely helps having a good support system there. Even I feel like we come to play more when we've got that crowd there, and that atmosphere just makes it that much more exciting to play. Even when we did have our cup game, it was good having the crowd there, having people cheer us on. It just gets you that much more motivated to get the job done.
Got a few comments coming through on the Facebook Live. Stephanie says, we're so good to see the girls playing Monday night on pitch 1 under the lights. Enjoying a good Chavapi roll with the canteen being open was even better.
That's it, the perks.
The perks of playing on pitch 1. So what time's the game on what day is playing? What time's the game?
So we're playing away on Sunday at 3 o'clock, and then the reserves as well at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So look, if you've got Sunday free, come down and support the girls. It's going to be an absolutely massive game to kick off the season. Hopefully we can come away with the 3 points. I think we will.
Yes,
That's
I hope
it.
so.
Come on down.
Come on down, support the girls. It's going to be an absolutely massive weekend of football all up. And girls, it was wonderful to have you on the show. Thanks for your time. We're going to go into a quick break, and then we'll continue with the show when we come back.
Are you looking to raise money for your community club or charitable organisation? Club Fundraising is an Australian family-run business, and we pride ourselves in creating partnerships with clubs, helping build stronger communities. Our free online platform provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au.
Whether you're a land developer, in local government, or a service authority, Lenco Group will help you get your job done on time and in a cost-effective manner. Lenco Group provides superior civil engineering and advisory services by creating, communicating and delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. For all your infrastructure requirements associated with residential, commercial or industrial development projects, visit our website lencogroup.com.au or give us a call today on 1300 152 626.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
Welcome back to the show, Knights fans. Now, we will be running a competition again this week with a Melbourne Knights merch pack up for offer. Now, the question for this week is, in 2019, Knights hosted Altona Magic at home. It was an absolute thriller of a game, Josh. I don't know if you remember it, but if we can get the exact score for the round 2 fixture from 2019, with the winning goal scorer, you will win the Melbourne Knights merch pack. Now, the talkback number is 99449999, and the SMS number is 0428 933 345. Now, as per how the show will work, we will be accepting answers on the text line or through the comments on Facebook or YouTube. However, if you do call in, you do get priority, so you are you're encouraged to call in to ensure that you take home the wonderful merch pack.
And we've got those numbers at the bottom of the screen now. Big shout out to Dan for redoing our graphics. And it's a lot easier to text and call in when you got the number right in front of you.
And as you can see, we've got a bit of the merch available behind us. Josh is sporting the home kit for this year, which he looks absolutely wonderful in, if I don't mind saying, Josh.
Oh, thank you. The club's recently sorted me out with some gear, and can't be grateful enough. I've been wearing it around town, trying to get the brand out there.
Look, mate, we're a big brand. I'm sure people know about us, but it always helps when people are wearing our merch. So even if you don't win the merch pack, you're encouraged to get down to the club, get some merch on and sport it around the town. Now, we'll just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. I&D Group, Living Gems Lifestyle Resorts, Melbourne Croatia Soccer Club, the Australian Croatian Clubs of Melbourne and Geelong, Adcon Group, Evolve Reinforcement, Empire Global, and the sponsor of the show, once again, St Andrews Hotel. Now, just to give the quick shout out to Tony, down from St Andrews, he does an absolutely wonderful job. He's been a long-time supporter of the club, long-time sponsor of the club, and we can't thank him enough for what he does. Now, I don't know if the people listening have been to the St Andrews Hotel. Josh, I have. I frequent it. It is an absolutely wonderful venue. Food is fantastic. Service is wonderful. So I encourage all of our listeners to head down and support a massive sponsor of the club. Josh, have you been down yourself?
I have indeed. That live show is the most memorable occasion, of course, the OB we did from there. But the food is fantastic. I had a feed before the show. Very delicious chicken parma, and there's many other options, of course, but it's also like a good function space as well out the back there.
Well, look, that's the other thing Tony does well. He's got that little function space at the back that caters for, probably up to 200 odd people. So if you're doing a small-ish sort of function, anything less than maybe a WOG wedding where you're inviting 800 people, he's probably the man for you. So get down, support a great sponsor of the club, and thanks, Tony, once again for jumping on as the sponsor of the show. Now, we'll crack on with the results from over the weekend around the grounds. Now, Altona Magic with a 2-2 draw with Dandenong City. A bit of late drama in that game. Dandy squandering a 2-goal lead.
Crazy game. Was an equaliser in the 94th minute. I think the first goal back was in the 87th or 88th.
87th and 94th, yeah.
Absolutely insane. And another blow for Sasha Brajanovski's Hajduk side, who were just, they just can't get a win from anywhere, no matter how well they play.
Yeah, well, look, I think they were probably a bit unlucky not to come away with the result, but football, unfortunately, for them goes for 90 minutes plus, and, they just couldn't hold on to the result on the weekend.
Yeah, I think we might have a talkback caller.
Oh.
Is this we'll see if we can...
See if we can get them on.
Them on. Hello, are you there? Can you hear us? Oh, maybe not. A few technical issues. Hang on. We'll try the other line. I'll see if there's a technical problem. Hello, you're on the air, Night Train? Never mind. I'll give him a call back during the break, whoever that was.
All right, so we'll continue with the Around the Grounds. Dandenong Thunder with a 1-0 win over St Albans Saints. Good result for Dandy.
Yeah, I mean, that was one I had pinned down as a draw because I just felt as if those two sides would cancel each other out a bit.
Yeah.
Not that great going forward, pretty solid defensively. That 5-0 loss to Port Melbourne aside, St Albans have been pretty resilient in that fashion, and I had it pinned as a 0-0 draw. But Thunder managed to pull something out of somewhere, and Paul Quoll with the trademark backflip celebration. It was a good call by Teo Pellizzeri on that goal as well. Great to have him back in the commentary ranks.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have him back on the commentary ranks. You just have to watch he doesn't do what Cam Sober does and injure himself in a celebration.
That's always a danger, but that's kind of what makes it so compelling.
Oh, definitely.
Is the slight hint of injury danger. You're putting yourself out there when you do a double backflip.
The fans love it. I'm not sure if the coach loves it so much.
All right, take 2 with the talkback line. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes,
definitely
working
can.
this time. Are you calling in to answer the merch competition question?
Yeah, why not? Oh, hey, Josh, are you well?
Yeah, good, mate. Start with your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, I think we might know who this caller is. He may have been on the show once or twice. Am I right, Slug?
Yeah, it's Slug from St Kilda.
How you going, Sluggy? So have you got an answer for us, mate?
Good, yeah, mate. 4-3. I think it was AJ Innia with the winner.
You are bang on correct, and well done. Called in. I think that might be the quickest response the show's had to a question.
That's great. It was setting a precedent for people to get in quickly. Love it.
Doing a great job, Zovac. Keep it up, mate. And
Thanks,
Joshy,
mate.
Good stuff, mate. Top looks brilliant on you, buddy.
Oh, I appreciate that. And thank you to the club for sorting me out. We'll give you some celebratory applause. There we go.
Now, Slug, were you at that fixture? Were you at the ground for that game?
Yes, I was indeed.
Mate, just talk us through what the roar was like from the stadium when AJ popped it in to go 4-3 up.
Oh, mate, it was put it this way, I think from memory we were down 3-1 at the time. So if I recall, could have been 3-1. I can't remember. It would have been 2-2, but I know there was a red card in the game as well. I remember when he popped that. A red card just before the goal, so it was huge.
Absolutely
Huge goal,
massive.
mate. Good to reminisce some of those times. So hopefully a
repeat performance this week.
We'll take the formula this week, and then obviously against our big foes in the FA Cup, mate. Hopefully we can knock them off, mate. There's no bigger fixture than that.
Yeah, well, look, we haven't brought it up yet, but yes, Melbourne Knights have drawn South Melbourne in the next round of the Cup.
To nobody's surprise.
To nobody's surprise. I mean, 4 times in 6 years. It's the question has to be asked. There's 3 certainties in life, it seems. Death, taxes, and Knights playing Hellas in the Cup. Slug?
Sorry, mate?
There seems to be 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and Knights drawing Hellas early in the Cup run.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. You actually think whether it's still fixed in some way or fashion, right? So
you're thinking maybe frozen balls or something in the Powerball machine.
Wouldn't put it past that mob, mate.
All right, Sluggy. Well, we got you on the show. I'll get a score prediction off you for the game on Friday night. What are you thinking, mate?
I'm thinking 2-0.
2-0?
Yeah,
solid.
Just a comfortable 2-0.
Comfortable 2-0. Well, look, mate, I hope you're right. Thanks for the call in, and we'll be in touch to sort you out for your merch pack. Thanks for the call, mate.
Well done, Kurt, the good boy.
Thank you. Thank you.
A big shout out to James in the comments as well, saying AJ is playing professionally in Cambodia now. Good on him.
Oh, good on him if that's true. Good on you, AJ. And another couple of comments coming in. From John Page, best of luck for the ladies. All the best for the season coming up ahead. Thank you, John. And we've got Robert Dvorak asking, how do I rate the Souvlaki from Oakley on Friday night? Now, I'm not shy in saying this. They've probably got the second best food in the comp compared to us. Unlucky we've pulled South Melbourne in the cup. Their Souvlaki these days tastes a bit more like cardboard than lamb. But
oh dear. What is it? The 19-something bar and grill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the date. The name of that bar is actually the date when the food was prepared.
Yeah, well, look, mate, they need to have a word. But, yeah, just in case anyone was curious, I'll give the Souvlaki a 9 out of 10, mate. It was absolutely killer on Friday night. Oakley do a great job.
They know what they're doing there.
They know what they're doing, mate. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely. The best bit is that, the sort of Greek mums who run the canteen, they're so efficient and they go at high speed. And if something's slowing them down, they'll sort it out later. There was a bunch of kids that came up getting a whole lot of soft drinks and things, and they produced a $50 note that they've obviously got from a parent who'd had too many, maybe. And the woman behind the counter looked at it and obviously had no change for it, and she gave it back and she said, "Your mum, she speak to me later." No, that's how they run things down there. It's like a family arrangement.
You've got to love to see that at these family sort of clubs. Now, continuing with the around the grounds, Avondale with a 2-0 win over Eastern Lions. You know, Eastern Lions probably running out of a bit of that fire that's kept them in good stead over the last few weeks.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough. I mean, I reckon Avondale probably had 89% of the ball in that game, and, you know, they did well to limit it. They actually missed a penalty, Eastern Lions, so it could have been a little bit closer. That was when they were already 2-0 down. I do rate what they're trying to do, but compared to Avondale, they've probably got like a tenth of the budget. So it's tough. I really like that young centre back, Doyle.
Yeah, he looks decent.
I think he's only 19.
Yeah.
He's a giant, and he just wins everything in the air. He's having a great year, and I think he's going to be going places. So I would expect one of the bigger teams to pick him up, especially if Eastern Lions get relegated this year, which I kind of hope they don't. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. That'd be a good team to keep up in the league, and it's not a bad away trip either for us from the West.
Yeah, exactly. It's a friendly club. I love the highlights packages they're putting together. They're videographer guy, you know, apart from the gardening that needs to be done at the ground.
Come on, guys, sort that out.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a council job, but you can't rely on council for anything.
No, nothing except collecting rates.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they're doing these like multi-cam highlights packages for all their games. They've got these static cameras set up everywhere, and they combine that with the FV footage to get like multi-cam replays, which is just as well when the tree's in the way for one of the goals. You know, nice to have it behind the goal angle, but you know, they've got a Vimeo account. I don't know why they're using Vimeo. But anyway, but it's one to check out actually. If you know when Knights play there, it's a good way to catch up on the match because it's like 16, 17 minute extended highlights, and it's a good service. I wish the more clubs would take that on. It's not easy though. It's kind of laborious to put that all together. So shout out to Eastern Lions. Yeah, they're doing a wonderful job there. And now Hume City with a 2-1 win over Port Melbourne, and Bentley Greaves and Heidelberg playing out a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I was calling the Hume game. alongside young Ollie Walker-Peel with his fantastic Blackburn accent, you might have heard, which... he's still in high school, actually, still doing year 12. I'm like,
no
mate,
way.
why do you concentrate your studies, mate? Why are you calling NPL games in Broadmeadows? But anyway, it was good fun. That game was ridiculous because Hume should have killed them off ages and ages earlier than they actually did, and they kept peppering the goal, and they just wouldn't go away until their keeper made an absolute hash of this long ball over the top, and it bounced over his head, and then Delic tucked it into the empty net. And it looked like that was it, 2-0. And then there was this ripper volley in the last minute off a corner, pull one back. They just wouldn't roll over and die in that game. So it speaks volumes for the character of that team, but they were outclassed in the end.
Definitely. And Delic will be one to watch this year. I think he's a good young up-and-coming striker in this
Top
league.
talent. He's being used a lot as a super sub for Hume, but I don't think it's long until he cements a starting 11 spot.
Definitely not. And now just to give a quick recap of the table, South Melbourne in first on 14 points, Avondale second, or 15 points rather. Avondale in second on 14 points, Oakley and Heidelberg tied for third on 12 points. Knights coming in at fifth on 11, Hume in sixth with 11 points, Green Gully seventh with 10 points, Port Melbourne and Dandenong Thunder, Bentley Greens and Eastern Lions all on 8 points. St Albans 8 points as well, and Altona Magic and Dandy City on 4 and 2 points respectively, rounding out the bottom of the table.
It's very tight, isn't it? And
Definitely. When you look at it really, between 12th and 1st, it's 7 points.
It's crazy.
Absolutely nothing. And look, it just goes to show you how competitive this league is top to bottom. You know, there's no certainties any given week. You've got to turn up and play your best football if you want to be taking home the chocolates.
Look, South on top. I'm not just saying this because I'm on a Knights show. I don't trust it. I don't believe it.
Look, to me, it doesn't really make sense either. Like, when you look at how they're playing and what they're sort of doing, they've got really one outlet forward, but somehow, credit to them, they haven't lost a game yet this season. They're doing something right, but I can't see it lasting too much longer.
They've had some lucky results, I would say. They've really grounded out, giving up a lot of possession, sitting in a very deep block a lot of the time. They only really seem to have one goal in them most games, and it's a matter of whether the opposition can break them down or not that determines the result. Marcus Schroeder has improved their midfield play a little bit since he's come back from injury, and I believe he did get the winner against Green Gully, if I'm not mistaken. So he's maybe one to watch out for with those late runs in midfield that he makes, and obviously Slados is a danger, and I guess, you got someone as big as Harry Sawyer. He's going to be imposing up front and as a sort of pivot. But aside from that, in a team sense, I don't think they're putting anything together that I would deem sustainable other than the defensive talent that they've got with Jankovic back there is really good pickup. Other than the, solidity and the stubbornness of that back line, I don't think that's enough for a championship contending team, or maybe they'll probably be in the sixth because of their defensive capacities, but I just don't see this lasting.
No, well, look, they're definitely going to be a tough team to break down going forward, but it's a credit to them so far. You haven't lost a game when you've really only got one outlet going forward. Like you said, Josh, they haven't looked like, apart from that one really big result that they've had, they haven't really looked like scoring more than one a game, but it's held them in pretty good stead. They're sitting top of the table through 7.
Yeah, I guess you can't criticise it too much with the results, but I would expect it will regress to the mean, shall we say, in the second half of the season. I don't think the stats nerds would really rate them if the XG is not not something I would bet the house on. But
no, definitely not. Well, look, we've got three games to review tonight, Josh.
Yeah,
with the Knights, where I'd call a pretty unfortunate loss to Heidelberg 2 weeks ago. 1-0 result going their way, and look, Ellis's left foot is nothing to laugh at, and he showed again. Heidelberg really only had maybe 1 or 2 chances for the game. They were clinical enough to put theirs away. I thought, Knights were probably the better team in that game for the better part of 75 to 80 minutes. But just goes to show you in this league, doesn't matter who you're playing, if you don't take your chances, and we had probably 3 or 4 clear-cut chances in that first half, you just got to be clinical enough to put those away and put the game away within half an hour like we should have.
there were a couple of like clearances off the line and stuff. Like, was it Feta Hadjic who had that miraculous clearance off the goal line, and Milan Roberts played very well. But at times it looked like their attacking outlet was basically Josh Wilkins from right back.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, they basically bypassed midfield the whole game.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that just goes to show the game plan Steve Berbich put together. The midfield, our midfield, I think, comprehensively dominated, especially the first half. But you just got to be clinical enough to put away your chances. And I think Heidelberg, especially Ellis on his left foot, he's going to punish you.
Yeah, and he did, and it was missed on the live stream. Unfortunately, cut out the opportune moment. But local recording the cameraman put together went out in the highlights. It was a magnificent individual effort, and we know that he's always got that in his locker. So it's just something that you can't really legislate for. Sean Ellis just going on solo runs, bringing a ball out of the night sky from 30 metres and cutting inside and tucking it into the bottom left corner. But
look, mate, he's a brilliant player, and he's a player that's going to punish you when you haven't been clinical the way to put your chances. But, you know, I thought overall the performance was pretty good, plenty of positives to take out of it. And to me, you know, probably incorrect result, but good on Heidelberg for getting away with the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a cut and run kind of job, but they pulled it off, and you know they're their only side to do so at Summer Street this season. First loss at home for the year, and look, credit to them, give them the 3 points. We'll take it on the chin, and you know I think we proved plenty about the kind of team we're going to be this year. It took them 89 minutes to even really get their first good sniff in on goal, and that was just a bit of Sean Ellis magic that really got them over the line. Yeah, I don't think it's really any cause to rethink, you know, the selection or the game plan or anything. No, you know, you play that game 10 times and Knights win 8 of them. Yeah. You know, it's just one of those things.
You take it on the chin and you move on. That's football. And then obviously we had the 3-0 win in the Cup over Josh's favourite school in Victoria, Old Scotch.
Well, I think I may have got that one wrong because the school I don't like, but the people who choose to play football at particular school might be the outliers. And
look, I want to give them a quick shout out on the show. They were probably one of the more gracious hosts we've ever had in the Cup, especially in this early stage. They went out of their way to get a bit of Croatian beer down there. They cooked you up there. They had a bottle of rakia go off for the raffle prize, which a friend of mine from Sydney actually managed to win. So good on him. But, you know, absolutely gracious hosts, and you can't really say enough about how good they were in terms of welcoming us into their club on Easter Saturday for the Cup game.
Yeah, look, I've a long-standing family resentment of that particular school because my grandfather actually went there and he was treated like dirt because he was a scholarship kid and they looked down on him because you don't belong with us. But that was in the 40s or something, so it may have changed since then.
Let it go, Joshy. But yeah, look. First goal coming in the 63rd minute. I think, especially in these early stages of the Cup, their teams like Old Scotch are going to park 10 behind the ball and really look to get you on the counter. And in the end, quality shone through. John Albano was absolutely massive in that Cup game, as he tends to be. He'll absolutely burn you with his pace if you let him, and he was a real difference maker coming on, especially when Old Scotch had started to run out of legs, but. Good on the boys for a 3-0 win, and we move on where, as we mentioned before, we've got Hellas again in a Cup game derby.
Yeah, those cold balls.
Cold balls, mate.
Or they microwaved. I'm not sure. It could be
either way they've gone. Look, something definitely has to be looked into because this is the 4th time in 6 years we've managed to draw them in the Cup. 3rd time away.
You got to drive the metrics somehow.
You've got to drive the metrics somehow. And look, we are probably the biggest draw in the league, so... I mean, I get what you're doing. Maybe wait till the next round at least to do it to us. But look, at the end of the day, if you want to be progressing to the FA Cup, which is clearly a goal of the clubs for this year, you're going to have to beat teams like South Melbourne to get there. So, to me, whether you get them in round 5 or you get them in round 7, it's much of a muchness. We're going to come out and look. I'm backing us in to beat them. We've had a pretty good record against them in the Cup over the last 3 meetings we've had with them. They've won 1. We've managed to walk away with two victories. So, good luck to the boys for that game. It's going to be absolutely massive down at South Melbourne. So, again, everyone calm down. We always travel well to Lakeside and cheer on the boys for hopefully another win in the Cup, Josh.
Yeah, and James has pointed out that Josh Wallen's broken his arm, so he'll probably be out for that fixture, and he's really their engine in midfield, covers a lot of ground, is a tireless kind of box-to-box runner. So that's a big loss. I think this is a very winnable game.
Oh, definitely.
Despite their position on the table, we've kind of covered it already.
Yeah.
But I think it's an eminently winnable fixture, and the only question is which attendance is going to be bigger, South Knights or Oakley Preston?
Well, look, that's going to be another massive game. But look, I think I'm going to back the Knights South Melbourne in.
Well, the gauntlet has been set down.
Gauntlet has been thrown down, so Knights fans come out because I'm a bit sick of Preston pulling more numbers than we do.
Well, it was crazy on Friday night, I've got to say it.
Once again, you've pulled the Preston game. I was hoping to see you at the Oakley game on Friday, Josh.
Hey, look, apparently the Macedonia head honchos made a call to FV and made sure I was assigned to the MPL 3 fixture. So thank you to them for doing that.
They must have seen your work on this wonderful radio show and you were the man they wanted to get across.
No, it was good fun. Me and Joey Lynch calling that 30-metre Karl Berishovich bomber.
Absolute bomb. Absolute bomb. And shout out to Karl. I played with him in a tourney a couple of years back. Absolutely great kid and magnificent goal.
Yeah, he's really kicked on. He's one to watch as well. Would
be very shocked if he's not up in the MPL in the next year or two.
Have you seen what he's looking like these days? He's absolutely packing on the muscle.
Oh, he's a unit.
He used to be, quite a small, skinny kid when I first interviewed him here in 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
And now he's grown about a foot, I think. And he's big biceps, and he's really coming into his own now. So that was a great moment for him. But back to World of Knights. We should talk about Friday night, I suppose.
Yeah, well, look, that's the next game we got up. So we walked away with a 2-2 draw with Oakley this Friday night. In the end, I think probably a fair result. We opened things up with an absolute bomb from James McGarry. Mate, what a free kick.
Oh, it was beautiful. That's exactly the kind of range that McGarry's going to excel. There's sort of, I think, two types of free kick takers. There's the kind of power free kick takers who prefer maybe a 30-yarder where they can more easily get it up and down over the wall and absolutely welly it. And then there's the technicians, there's the classy kind of smooth guys, a bit of a kind of Andre Pirlo mode, a mould who like a little dink over the wall into the top corner, which is exactly what he pulled off. Mate, and it was absolute class.
Wonderful free kick. And look, Oakley, as we've said many times on the show, they're going to be one of the teams to watch this year in the comp. They came out, they played some pretty good football. We ended up, you concede 2, but good on the boys for fighting back. Well taken penalty by Webb under a bit of pressure to put it away. And then a bit of late drama seems to happen quite a bit with us this year. We had our substitute cameraman go down with a bit of an injury, and an ambulance had to be called onto the ground. So all the best to him, and we wish him a speedy recovery. I'm told he got checked out of hospital today, all clear, so that's wonderful news. Game was delayed by about 20 minutes, pretty close to be getting called off. And, I think all credit goes to the boys from both sides for, waiting out that 20 minutes and then having to restart a game would have been incredibly tough mentally.
Yeah, and physically as well, when on a cold night like Friday was, to try and get yourself warmed up again at short notice after a long delay. And, we're just happy that the bloke's all right and he's out of hospital.
Definitely.
That's the main thing. Sometimes football's not the most important thing that happens. And
no, well, look, definitely not. And all the best wishes to him. Hope he recovers well and hope to see him back in and around the club in the coming weeks. We're going to go to a quick break and then we'll be coming back to wrap up the show with a preview of this week's game.
And we'll also be speaking to James McGarry.
That too as well, yes.
Whether you're a land developer, in local government or a service authority, Lenco Group will help you get your job done on time and in a cost-effective manner. Lenco Group provides superior civil engineering and advisory services by creating, communicating and delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. For all your infrastructure requirements associated with residential, commercial or industrial development projects, visit our website lencogroup.com.au or give us a call today on 1300 152 626.
looking to raise money for your community club or charitable organisation? Club Fundraising is an Australian family-run business, and we pride ourselves in creating partnerships with clubs, helping build stronger communities. Our free online platform provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au.
Need your morning football fix? Start your day the right way with breakfast on FNR. Whether it's A-League, W-League, NPL or the bright lights of Europe, FNR's breakfast team will bring you the latest headlines, exclusive interviews, debate the big talking points and have plenty of fun along the way. Breakfast on FNR. Live from 8 a.m. Eastern every weekday on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live and the FNR app.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
Whether you're a land developer, in local government or a service authority, Lenco Group will help you get your job done on time and in a cost-effective manner. Lenco Group provides superior civil engineering and advisory services by creating, communicating and delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. For all your infrastructure requirements associated with residential, commercial or industrial development projects, visit our website lencogroup.com.au or give us a call today on 1300 152 626.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences. Are you looking to raise money for your community club or charitable organisation? Club Fundraising is an Australian family-run business, and we pride ourselves in creating partnerships with clubs, helping build stronger communities. Our free online platform provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au. The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
Welcome back to the show, Knights fans. Now, once again, we've got a player joining us on the live cross from the stadium. Joining us is midfielder and goal of the season contender, James McGarry. Jimmy, welcome on the show, mate.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Now, mate, talk us through that free kick on Friday night, because that was an absolute pearler.
Yeah, it was a nice one. Just thought it was a bit close to the box, so thought I've got to try and get it over the wall and then back under the bar, so I didn't want to hit it too hard. But it went in all right. It was good.
Mate, absolute bomb of a goal. And you've had a pretty good start to the season so far, James. Yes, personally and from a club perspective.
Yeah, no, body's feeling good. Obviously, I had a long time off with obviously COVID, and then I had hip surgery before that. So probably a good year and a half before I've got some minutes under my belt or whatever. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the start, to be honest.
Now, James, this is your second stint with the Knights. Just talk us through what it's like to be part of the club.
Yeah, this is my second stint. I came, I don't even know what year it was, but under Stabber, and we had a pretty good team the first couple of years. I think we finished second, and had a couple of finals runs sort of thing. So we had a good sort of spell there, and then I went away, and then decided to come back last year under sort of Stuart Monroe or whatever, and then due to COVID, never got to play again. But really happy with how we're going this year. Been a good start, really. We've been unlucky not to have more points, I reckon.
Yeah, you're not the only one, mate.
Yeah.
Gaz, how's your body feeling? Because we know you had some injury troubles early last year, but you seem to be fit and firing and good to go now.
Yeah, like I say, I had groin problems for a few years and decided to get a clean out in the hip. And coming back from it, I kept sort of getting little muscle strains. But to be fair, having COVID and the season sort of cancelled last year, it probably gave me a bit more time to get my fitness up and stuff like that. So, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling pretty fit, but probably not getting in the box as much as I used to. I'm always thinking if I go forward, I'm going to have to get back. So most of the time I just don't go forward now.
No, mate, you just sit at the base of midfield and lob those beautiful passes into the channels. We were perfectly content with that.
Yeah.
What about the style of play? What about the style of play under Steve Burbage this season? It seems to have suited ball-playing midfielders like you and Anthony Giselle.
Yeah, definitely. Look, when he said at the start, we might be playing 4-4-2, I was thinking, my legs probably aren't what they used to be, and just having a 2 in the middle, I was a bit worried, to be honest. But the way we're playing, it's been unbelievable, the way we're knocking it about at the back, and the boys up front closing down and pressing, and we're causing teams a lot of trouble.
What inspired you to come back to the Knights after your spell away from the club? What makes this a special place to be?
Look, to be honest, I think when you come to Knights, it's you come into a big ground, and you're getting a lot of passionate fans, and you really do feel the difference when you're doing well at Knights compared to other teams. Obviously, it's always nice when you're doing well, but you really get the fans behind you, and it's good atmosphere at Knights Stadium when the boys are doing well. So that was a big factor in coming back.
Oh, look, definitely, mate. We've said it many times. I think we've got the best fans in the league. But just to talk personally, what's the biggest difference you find between this year and previous years you've had at the club, either last year under Stewie or under Stabber in your first stint at the Knights?
Look, I think when I first signed for Knights, we had an experienced team, and it's always hard at this level to sort of keep more than 11 players happy when you've got a squad, and you're going to have players who were sort of expecting to play. It's hard to keep them players happy when they're on the bench and during the course of the year. Like I say, it's hard to keep everybody happy. So probably the first couple of years at Knights and definitely this time, we've got 13, 14 players who we're all expecting to play. So it's not as if you've sort of got 5 subs who are not happy to sit on the bench, but are sort of half expecting that the sort of starting 11 picks itself or whatever. But now we've got real competition for places probably everywhere on the pitch. So it's keeping training intense. All the boys who are probably not in the squad or on the bench, they've all shown great attitude up to now, and everyone keeps pushing each other in training, which is definitely making a difference.
You've been playing in NPL Victoria for a few years. What do you rate the standard at this time? Because for me, it seems the depth of competition in this league is as close and as competitive as it's ever been.
Yeah, like you said, probably the last few years, it's probably been the same few teams dominating, and you could probably pick the top few teams at the start of the season. But like you said, this year, everybody seems like they can beat anybody, and there's going to be a good battle for the finals, I reckon.
Oh, definitely, mate. Now, look, you as a player who spent a few years at the club, you would have played in a few of these cup derbies against South Melbourne. Talk us through what that's like as a player.
Yeah, the South games are always big games, and you can feel it as soon as you come to the ground, whether it's here or at, in South Melbourne at their ground or whatever. You feel it in the changing room straight away, and it means so much to everybody at the club to get a good result against South. So, the fans and the players are passionate anyway, but when it comes to these big games, you really do feel the difference.
What do you see your role in the squad now as one of the more experienced members of a pretty young team? Do you sort of focus on your own game, keep yourself to yourself, or are you taking it upon yourself to try and share some of that experience with the youngsters?
Yeah, look, I probably I like to speak to the younger lads individually, mainly more than sort of standing in front of the boys and giving my opinion. If I see some of the young boys lacking a bit of confidence or something like that, I'd like to think I try and put my arm around them a bit and, try and bring them on rather than criticising if they make mistakes or whatever. But, I like to think the boys listen to me, I suppose, if I'm one of the older players. But yeah, I am starting to feel a bit old now in that changing room.
Oh, look, mate, there's a few young stars really shining this year for us. What's it been like watching some of these youngsters, especially the likes of Jack Marth, really come up and stamp their place into the senior squad this year?
Yeah, look, Jack's been on fire the last few weeks, to be honest. Even in training, he's really stepped up, I'd say, over the last month or so. But even the likes of Juzzy and Caleb and Harry and Mikaela, they were sort of young lads when I was here last time. Like under 20s or in the starting 11, but still young. And I think they're still only 24, so they're all still young as well. So we've got a young span to the team, really, but they're young, but they've got a lot of experience as well.
One of the features of this team that I've really liked seeing this season is the pressing and the hard work from the front four players. How much easier does it make your job when you've got every member of the squad defending from the front?
Yeah, look, it's made a big difference. I mean, I think any time I've played for Knights, hard work and trying your hardest, and that's a given when you're playing for Knights. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say there's one player who doesn't do that. But yeah, to get the front four, who usually sort of like the flair players who stick to scoring goals and setting up goals, working as hard as that. Yeah, it's a testament to that front four because they're all unselfish and they're all doing the teamwork, putting the team first, sort of thing.
Oh, look, definitely, mate. And we've got a massive game coming up this Friday night at home to Altona Magic. How's everyone sort of feeling coming in after a pretty tough game on Friday?
Yeah, the games are coming thick and fast now. Now we've got the cup games involved as well, and Altona probably aren't going too good results wise, but they've got a lot of good players there and a lot of experienced players, and we're not expecting an easy game. We know it's going to be a tough game, and I think if we get 3 points on Friday, we're really back on track, and we've had a tough run of games with some good teams, but we're showing that we're matching it with them, and we're definitely up there with them, sort of thing.
It's coming up against one of your former sides, I believe. Does that change anything for you, or is it just totally business as usual when there's so much turnover in this league anyway?
Yeah, no, look, I'll just probably prepare the same, and I know a lot of their players who I'm still good mates with and stuff like that. But yeah, when you get on the pitch, that's just the way it is. It's just football. I'm good mates with Tom Matthews on Friday night, and he wouldn't even look at me when we was on the pitch. So I think that's just what it's like when you're on the pitch,
It was quite a dramatic game on Friday night. Long delay, of course, with the medical incident on the sideline. What was it like for the squad trying to warm up again after that long delay and get going? It must have been an uncertain and not ideal situation.
Yeah, no, it's not ideal, especially for me. At my age, I was stiffening up and thinking, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to move when we get started again. But, we were probably just they probably just started getting the better of us before that sort of break. And yeah, I was dreading it a little bit coming back on, thinking I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep moving as well. But we actually did well when we got back on, and I thought we probably had the better of it.
The Cup coming up, is it something the players talk about, the chance to, go on a run and play, in the national round of 32? We obviously saw in 2019 a massive night at Summer Street against Adelaide United with that huge crowd packing in. Is that a real incentive, or do you just take the Cup games one round at a time and not think too far ahead?
Oh, look, I think the players and the managers, they've always got their eye on wanting to get a big game here against an A-League team. Everyone, that's what they want, and we want to go as far as we can in the Cup. And yeah, I suppose we take each game as it comes, but we're definitely focused on the Cup as well. We want to try and have a good Cup run as well as the league.
The league, it seems as if no players have really lost faith in the game plan at all, despite some of the results maybe not matching the performances and some bad luck in recent weeks. How far do you think this squad can really go? Because performance-wise, I think the Knights have been as good as anybody in the league this season.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think the players, we all feel that as well. We've had, we've played good teams, and we might not have got the results we wanted, but we've shown in spells and probably long spells of them games that not only can we match it, but we can be better than these teams. So I think when we're not getting the results that we've probably deserved in some of them games, that's probably where it's important to sort of, keep reassuring us that we're doing the right thing, and we are doing well, which is what Bev has been doing. After we come in after a game like that, he's been sort of pleased with the performance, just not the results sometimes.
Oh, look, mate, those sort of results sort of come and go in football. I think everyone's pretty happy with how the team's going this year. Thanks for your time joining us tonight on the show, and we all look forward to seeing you take to the park on Friday night against Altona.
Yeah, nice one. All right. Cheers, fellas.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
James McGarry, wonderful player. He's been absolutely massive for us this season. And we've got Joey D in the comments saying best central defensive midfielder in the comp.
In the whole league.
In the whole league. Big shout.
Big shout. He's up there.
He's definitely up there for me.
I'm trying to do the mental calculations and think of the other contenders for that spot.
There's no other contenders, mate. Just give it to
fair
him.
Enough. Now, are we going to do your 3-2-1?
Yeah, mate. I got the 3-2-1s up and going. So a bit delayed, obviously, from the Heidelberg game because we missed the show due to Easter Monday. But I've gone Bryce for the 3. I thought he was absolutely immense in that game again. His leadership to really shut Heidelberg out for the better part of 90 minutes was massive. And that partnership between him and Trevor is just, they're looking like one of the better centre-back pairings in the league, mate.
Yeah, it's that combination of sort of steel and silk, which is the classic kind of combination.
Classic centre-back combination.
You think of your Ferdinand Vidic kind of centre-back partnerships. You want that blend of styles, and he was certainly having an outstanding season, maybe the player of the season so far.
For me, I think he's our player of the year so far. His leadership's been massive, even in the game against Oakley on Friday. Just a couple of times his recovery pace, his ability to read the game is just immense. So he's got the 3 for that game for me. I've gone Mikulic with the 2. Mm-hmm. I thought that role he's seems to have taken to that role playing behind Webb in that 10. And again, he had a couple of good chances to score, probably a bit unlucky not to. But again, getting himself into scoring positions and some of the like that. Again, I'm going to harp on about this I think all year, but the unselfishness in how he plays in that role in terms of making runs on and off the ball, making space for players around him. I think he's been one of the more underrated players for us this year.
There's 2 things that I think he does exceptionally well. One is exactly what you're talking about, dragging defenders out of position and creating lanes for his teammates to receive the ball in, and the pressing from the front and the hard work that he does, because he's essentially occupying 2 positions in this 4-4-2 to protect midfielders like Gaz. He will admit it himself. He doesn't cover the ground that he used to. He still puts in a real shift, but playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it, it's difficult when you've often got three-man midfields up against you and there's a chance of getting overloaded in that area. So you absolutely need your strikers to work as hard as possible and defend from the front, protect you by putting pressure on those players who are trying to pass the ball into midfield. And then when the ball does get past them, dropping back to mark defensive midfield players and ensure you don't get outnumbered. And Mikaela is absolutely crucial in terms of occupying that hole, pressing defensive mids. When the ball goes back to the centre-backs, he's pressing up. So he's actually, dealing with a numerical disadvantage in that area and plugging all the gaps. So, exceptional work rate that he has.
Definitely. And my one, I've gone with Trevor Secamore, the sub, because I really think he came on he's been a bit of a fire starter for us off the bench this year. And really, you can't rate. I really rate what he did against Heidelberg. The intensity he brought on in that final third for that last 25 odd minutes was absolutely massive, and he nearly got us that goal before obviously Ellis pulled a bit of magic.
Yeah, and that's the kind of play you want as a super sub. You want somebody to inject that pace and energy and excitement, and it really lifts the spirits of the supporters as well. When maybe the game's not going your way, you've got somebody warming up who is going to inject a bit of excitement into the fixture, especially when the spaces open up. He did that against St Albans, he did that against Heidelberg. It's only a matter of time before he gets a goal and puts his name up in lights.
Yeah, well, look, even that, so obviously Mo copped a bit of a knock and didn't play on Friday, so Trevor got the opportunity to start on Friday night. And especially in that first half, he ran Oakley absolutely ragged down that left-hand side. He was just cutting in. He was causing them all sorts of trouble. So full credit to him for the performance last week and the performance against Heidelberg.
Yeah, it's really exciting watching him develop, and I'm sure he's going to go from strength to strength. The more minutes he gets and the more experience and exposure he has of senior football, playing against much bigger bodies, doesn't seem to faze him whatsoever. So he's a real asset to the team and an essential depth player.
Yep, without a doubt. And now the 3-2-1 from Oakley this Friday. I've gone with Trevor Zwetsloot for the three because I think, again, I'm going to talk about this a lot across the year because just that partnership of him and Bryce next to each other. Look, Bryce probably, again, he's going to be stiff not to get the 3 votes most weeks, but I think just the ability Trevor's got he's a midfield, he can play in the midfield, and you saw that with the range of his passing on Friday night. The amount of times an attack was started by him or Bryce winning back the ball and then playing it out from that centre-back position, either long and wide or in through to a midfield player, was absolutely phenomenal. He was immense on Friday night for us.
With a pitch like that, it's very tight, it's very small. Sometimes the midfielders aren't going to have the time on the ball to be able to spray passes around because it gets congested in there, and that's when you need your centre-backs to step up because they're the only ones who actually have a moment or two to look up and pick out a pass because it gets a bit chaotic and end-to-end and kind of congested in the midfield, and sometimes there's a bit of pinball that goes on at Jack Edwards Reserve. So that's where you need a player with composure, and that's what Trevor has in absolute spades.
Yeah, without a doubt. The two votes I've gone with Gaz, obviously scored that magnificent free kick to put us 1-0 up. But again, his leadership, like you were saying just now, Josh, it's on a tighter pitch like that, you need to have your head on a swivel playing in that midfield because there's players coming from absolutely everywhere. And just his time and presence on the ball, sort of knowing when he had the opportunity to turn, when he didn't, his distribution again from the midfield, fantastic free kick to put us 1-0 up. He was massive on Friday.
Yeah, and it's, again, not an easy position to play, especially on that pitch against that team.
Yeah, look, with how Oakley are pressing into that midfield this year, that's going to be one of the tougher grounds to travel to.
It is. They have a massive home advantage. Even with the injuries they had on Friday night, they lost a couple of centre-backs, but it didn't really matter because they weren't doing their defending in that area that
right.
often.
They're doing it through the middle.
Exactly. It's quite the sort of mid-block just crazy harassment in there that it just goes nuts. Joe Guest always gets stuck in. They've got a lot of players like that who, love those tight areas where they can win the ball and counter, in an instant. That's where they're most dangerous. So trying to play possession football on that pitch is really tough, and that's where Gaz showed his quality.
Definitely. And for the one vote, I've gone with Alan Webb. Scored the penalty, but so much more than that. Like again, like you're saying, on a tight pitch like that, and a quick front man is a massive advantage, and even off the ball, the amount of times between him, Mikulic, Albano, but the amount of times they were chasing that ball, pinning around the back, really pushing that press forward, which is something we've done really, really well this year. But that starts from your front three, and Webb leading the line, pushing forward in that press. He was massive, and probably unlucky not to get away with maybe another goal on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the pressure, and then that's the release valve to have a player like Webb, drifting into the right channel, ball over the top, and then, everybody can get back up the field and breathe a little bit, whether it comes to an attacking chance or not. But he was very threatening, and, could have had another goal. And
definitely.
It was on a knife edge, that game, but I think the Knights probably edged it in terms of chances. But, again, it comes down to whether you can finish them or not. And obviously, the big stoppage probably didn't come at the best time.
No, especially not for us. You pin a goal back like that, your momentum you feel is really starting to swing your way. And look, unfortunately, through no fault of his own, the cameraman's gone down and the game was stopped. But in the end, I thought it was a pretty fair result on Friday. And credit to everyone for coming out of Oakley with a point. Not too many teams are going to do that this year.
No, it's ever since they kind of found their mojo after a sort of slightly stuttering start. Oakley, they've got amazing quality in that team. They've got a couple of injuries at the moment with Holmes and Eliopoulos and so forth struggling, but you didn't really notice too much because they've just got reinforcements straight into the first team. A club who can have Matthew Fascini on the bench is obviously or as a backup player in midfield is obviously got an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah,
so.
And look, again, Guest was and has been for quite a while now. He's such a good player to watch.
Yeah. Look, even when he isn't dominating and the game isn't going his way, and it usually does, he always puts in an absolute shift. That's what you want from your star number 10. And he's kind of ferocious. He loves that biff that you get from a player who's kind of seasoned in the conference and the English lower leagues. You can tell that attitude. And
you like to see that. You like to see him really getting out there and having a crack. They're the kind of games of football I really like to watch. So he's one I always enjoy coming up against. Well, not always enjoy, wrong word probably, because you
admire begrudging admiration for a guy with that kind of Mongol intensity and the quality that he has on that left foot.
And just a few comments coming through the stream. Knights keep on surprising me with their results. Well, mate, get used to it because there's going to be a few more surprises coming up throughout the year. And James Backtar, Bryce is a gun, considering the number of retreads currently dishing up the whole load of you-know-what in the A-League. He'd be more deserving of an opportunity. And he's given also a shout-out to Tommy Uscock, who's doing brilliantly at Western United. I think Aidan Bryce could follow in his footsteps. Mate, look, you're not the only one that thinks so. I think he's not too far away from a potential A-League call-up.
Yeah, especially with clubs now looking a little bit more at the NPL and respecting the league more and scouting more. Western United have kind of led the way in some ways because they got John Anastasiadis on staff. They've always got a bit of knowledge and a bit of one foot in the Victorian NPL, and they do actually go out and scout games, which is not something you've seen from a lot of A-League clubs. So they are looking, and that's an incentive for all these NPL Victoria players when the professional opportunity could be around the corner. But you never know. The next level might come at the Knights if certain developments in the Australian football hierarchy go ahead as planned.
Yeah, well, look, let's hope that all does kick off. Another one quickly through the comments. Guess was incredibly lucky not to be sent off, considering how he was talking to the referee, James Baxter again. Look, I'm going to find it hard to disagree with that. I've seen players wearing a red, white and blue kit be sent off for far less than what Joe Guest pulled off on Friday night. So he's a very lucky man to have stayed on the pitch.
The approach to dissent, particularly at that game from Oakley players and officials, is quite incredible. But didn't the coach get sent?
Look, it's incredible when you look at how much especially the Oakley players were sort of jabbering at the referee. The coach was the only one who managed to pull a red card. Yeah,
Chris Taylor usually bites his tongue unless he's really trying to make a point, and he usually cops it. Like it's not the first time I've seen him sent to the stands. No, but apparently the players can say whatever and it's fine.
Yeah, well, look, as long as you're wearing an Oakley shirt and not an Oakley jacket, tracksuit on the bench, apparently you can say what you want to the referee as long as you're wearing a jersey. But
look, I totally understand why referees are hesitant to send players off and, more ready to send officials off because it's less controversial. You don't really talk about, a coach getting sent to the stands as changing a game or whatever, even though it kind of does. especially a tight pitch like that where the players can always hear the coach's instructions. It is a blow to not have your coach on the sideline. But look, if I was refereeing, I would be so much less patient than the Saints they apparently have holding the whistles and the cards.
Yeah, well, look, honestly, it's credit to them because I'd be throwing red cards out everywhere. Most games, I think I refereed when they're being abandoned for lack of players on the pitch, but it is what it is. Now, moving on, we've obviously got the massive game this Friday night at home against Altona Magic. Josh, I'm backing the Knights in to come away with 3 points this week.
Yeah, look, Altona's got a new head coach from Westgate, and they've obviously sorted out that position after a few weeks of real uncertainty calling up everyone in the Rolodex.
Yeah, between Ernie Merrick to Mickey Chorley, everyone's gotten a phone call. So
Scott Miller as well was offered.
yeah. Well, look, credit to him for finally getting us coach sorted out. Normally, most teams have one on the Rolodex before they fire theirs. So a bit of an interesting decision to sack Jonesy before you. When you've only got an under-14s boys coach to take over as your senior caretaker.
Well, what's puzzled me is that, he's replaced the Westgate manager, Goran Lozanovski, the ex-Altona coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Loz is a class manager. I don't know why you get rid of him. After last season, 4 or 5 games with a squad that was a shell of its former self and, massive budget cuts with Igor leaving and then coming back, it wasn't his fault. He should still be in charge, and he would be doing a much better job with this high-profile group of players than, the crazy uncertainty roller coaster that they've had this season, sacking the manager so prematurely.
Yeah, well, look, after 4 games, really, what do you know about your season after 4 weeks?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Bizarre, but I think they will eventually find their feet.
I just hope it's not this week.
Yeah, it would be classic Knights to come up against a team who's just, turned a corner.
Well, it seems to happen to us more often than not.
Yeah, frustrating.
On past history.
Frustrating.
But look,
they've got good players, but I don't think the managers really had time to bed in more than a morale boost, which was probably what was behind that comeback against Dandy City. So I'm backing the Knights in for a win.
Oh, look, I'm backing the Knights in. I think just based on our performances over the last 4 weeks, and we said this coming into this run of 4 games, when you come up against your Hume, Avondale, Heidelberg and Oakley, you've come out of that with 2 draws, a 1-0 loss that really we should have won, and the win. You've come out of that with 5 points from 4 games against 4 of the you'd argue top 6 teams in the comp this year.
Yeah, it's been a really tough run of fixtures and, congested as well, midway grounds, FFA Cup.
Of course.
And, the Knights are dealing with a pretty concentrated group of first-team players and keeping faith with a majority of the same 11 each week. So it's not like a rotation policy that's going to make this kind of run easy on the legs. So it's a credit to the fitness and coaching approach that been able to get the results they have, and honestly deserved more in nearly every single one of those games.
Yeah.
We could be talking about the Knights top of the league if 1 goal goes in instead of cleared off the line or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a really close run thing, and the Knights are right up there. It won't take more than a run of a couple of wins for them to be contesting the premiership.
No, exactly right, and it's going to be an up and down league all year from top to bottom. So, look, I'm backing us in for the win this Friday. That'll see us jump up a bit. I'm tipping a few of the boys up front to come up with the goals. I'm tipping a 3-0 win this week. I'm really backing the boys in. I think just based on the performances the last 2 weeks, when you can do what we've done to Heidelberg and Oakley consecutively, Heidelberg, really that game should have been put to bed after half an hour. Just, a couple of unlucky chances not put away. And against Oakley, the game went both ways. But again, I think we were the better team on the park for the better part of 60 minutes of that fixture. So if we play the way we have over the last 4 weeks, really starting at the Hume game with that massive win we had there's no reason we shouldn't put Altona away this Friday night.
Absolutely not. I was going to say 3-1, so same margin. I reckon Altona do have some attacking firepower, and they've scored goals, but they've also been a bit of a sieve defensively. So I think it'll be kind of 3-1, 4-1 areas.
Yeah.
I'm backing a comfortable win, regardless of the margin. I think the Knights are due.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's going to be a good fixture, and should be a good crowd. You just get down there, support the team because they need you.
Definitely get down and support the boys. It's an absolutely massive game for us this Friday night, as they are most weeks. But we all look forward to seeing you down at the club on Friday. And Josh, give us a goal scorer. Who do you reckon's coming out with the first goal?
First goal.
For the punters out there listening.
Jeez. Give me Caleb Mikulich. Is that what you were going to say?
I was going to say the same thing.
We're on the same
We're
page.
on the same page. Now, look, I'm backing Caleb in to score this week. I think he'll get away with... Oh, look, hopefully it's the first one out that we've picked it, but I'm tipping him to score this week. He had a pretty good run there for a couple of weeks, probably unlucky not to score against Heidelberg, and he had a chance or two against Oakley as well. Really shown to be one of our informed goal scorers this year.
Yeah, and he can score in multiple ways as well. Both feet, headers, as we saw against Avondale.
A massive header against Avondale.
Oh, man, what a goal that was.
That's going to be replayed quite a bit this year, I reckon.
If only it had been shown live. Oh, well. Bloody sportscast.
Sportscast seem to make a habit of not streaming the last goal from Knights games this year.
You know what I heard the other day? Apparently, it would have been Bar TV doing the games, but they wanted to put their logo on the streams. And FV said no. This is just a rumor that I heard. I'm not going to say it's true or not. But anyway.
Look, I'm probably backing it as true. It sounds exactly like a typical FFV decision. Well, look, guys, we're going to wrap the show up with that tonight. Just a quick thanks to our in-studio guests, Mikaela and Braj. Good luck to the girls this weekend with their season kicking off and with their game against Avondale in the coming weeks in the Nike Cup. Thanks, Josh, again for co-hosting. Thanks to the St Andrews Hotel and Sluggy for winning the comp. Hope to see you all at the club on Friday night. Absolutely bumper fixture. Memberships are still available. Merch is coming in. The winter merch is coming in shortly. Mate, get down, get some merch in, get a few chavaps down, maybe even a couple of beers. Cheer the Knights on for a 3-0 win this week. And we'll see you next Monday, hopefully to talk about a good result on Friday.
Their time has arrived. I think last week that 10-man performance in the preliminary final was absolutely exceptional. So I'm going for the Knights.
But when you talk of Knights, it's a real fighting team.
Buskak into the back of the net. Melbourne Knights take the lead 1-0. Melbourne Knights will win the Doherty Cup.
Croatia fans salute the goal that could be so vital.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrews Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for